All right, welcome to the Heaven of Rock podcast. My name is Kevin, and I help musicians improve their musicianship and their lifestyle. And in today's episode, we have one of the most kick-ass frontmen in rock and roll, the one and only Eric Jayk of Wildstreet. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the band's influences, what they have stored up for 2022, and how yoga has helped Eric become a better singer. Let's get into it. Hey, Eric, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem. I tried to get dressed and stuff, but man, the rain just started pouring when when I went into my studio. You know what I mean? How are you today?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. This morning I woke up and I was listening to a lot of new songs from Crash Diet, from Heat, and I think I was watching an interview with you, and you were talking about how excited you were on the fact that this year is gonna be a great year for rock bands, and I couldn't agree more. As a matter of fact, one of the most favorite parts for me is listening to a song, from a band that I knew. And a band that I've been a fan of for about 10 or 15 years, and you can clearly tell how far the craftsmanship has improved and just how the band has improved in general. So that's what I was doing today.
Oh, that's awesome. There's lots of great music out there. Our label in particular has really great bands, like of all different kinds of rock music. It's not just hard rock, not just whatever Wildstreet is, like bands like us. There's lots of other music, and there's lots of great music in the world too. So
much definitely, I think because I've been a fan. I discovered you guys in 2020 when the pandemic started, and I went back and I listened to the first Wildstreet record. I get Def Leppard vibes in that first Wildstreet record. And as a matter of fact, Open Up Your Eyes is one of my favorite songs. All the Young Dudes is one of my favorite songs that I listen to. For those of us that don't know who Eric Jayk is, can you tell us about who you are and how WildStreet came to be?
Well, Wildstreet started when my best friend, he doesn't play in Wildstreet anymore, but he's still part of Wildstreet. You know what I mean? He moved to New York from San Diego. We used to hang out, and he answered my ad for guitar player, right? And so he joined the band, and he came to the first rehearsal, and he had like an 8-track recorder, right? An 8-track, and he recorded his new guitar parts over the songs that I had for this band, right? Which was amazing. Nobody's ever done that for me, or done that, showed that much caring about the music. So anyway, a few months later, we decided to end that band and start a new one. And Wildstreet, we didn't know what we were doing really at first. We were just kind of like trying to make music that was universal and over the top, and something that was not like a lot of bands are really mopey and especially at that time, it was like a lot of emo bands and stuff, you know what I mean? And so we wanted to do something that's fun, that people want to go to a show and have fun. And I guess it turned into 80s at first, but then it got a little bit more production heavy as we got into recording the first album. The first album, yes, it sounds a lot like Def Leppard. Why? Because that's what we were going for. We were trying to make an album that trying to make, at least the first half of the album, songs that feel like Def Leppard, and we embodied their production techniques. Like we recorded one string at a time. We tried to match the drum sounds. We tried to get the same feeling, so everybody would like, who likes Def Leppard would like the songs. You know what I mean? It was very calculated, but the songs were written on acoustic guitar. You know what I mean? So it's like a song can be produced in any way. It doesn't it doesn't matter the production. It could have been a country record, you know what I mean? So, but that's what we wanted to do. And so after the first record, it took us, we started with 4 songs, and then it took us about 2 years to finish the rest of the record, which, whereas we recorded in the studio with our 2 producers, I recorded in my apartment in New York, the rest of the record, including all the young dudes, which you mentioned, Fist of Fury, or whatever else is on there. But yeah, like, so using the same techniques that we used in the studio with our producers, we did this sort of arena rock record, which I still like those songs sometimes, you know.
Yeah, dude, that guitar tone in that particular record is awesome.
Basically, that was a Rockman X100, right?
Oh,
a Rockman headphone amp. I think I have it here. But I'll find it later. It's a Rockman X100 through a Line 6 pod as a cabinet simulator.
Oh, wow.
And we used the pod for, like, you know, extra compression and extra effects, you know, like delays and choruses and et cetera. And so yeah, it's nothing fancy, but it was exactly like Def Leppard used a Rockman X100 and a Palmer amp simulator, cabinet simulator, or something like that. So you got to do stuff authentic if you're going to do it. You know what I mean?
Much definitely. And, you know, I gotta say, I do love the way how, you know, after I listen to, you know, after I go from one Wildstreet record to another Wildstreet record, I can definitely hear, you know, how the sound has evolved and, you know, and so much more. And
yeah, Wildstreet 2 is the exact opposite of Wildstreet 1. It's about the band and not about production, not about anything like that. It's about capturing the band's attitude and live show on an EP. And so it's like it's almost like black and white, you know. It's so very different.
I don't think the Wildstreet 2 is up on Spotify, is it? Because
it is the Faster Louder Collector's Edition. Unfortunately, I don't. There's some Spotify issue, and I haven't figured out what's the cause of it. And
I have to take a listen to that record because I haven't. Yeah, I've heard the Wildstreet record, which is like the one with, you know, like the neon pink cover, and and then there's there's Wildstreet 3, which came out recently. But I definitely have to check out the Wildstreet 2 record.
Yeah, definitely do that. Like that's the album with like Poison Kiss, and the collector's edition has Easy Does It, and there's you know a lot of songs that if you come see us play live, you'll definitely hear. So
I definitely have to like it. I mean, I have to come and see you guys play because it's like, you know, when I look at Eric Jayk, there is like just rock and roll written all over you. And, you know, what I love about your presence as a singer is that, you know, it's not just the craft, but it's the fact how you have charisma with your audience, how you're able to just have so much presence, you know, whether it's in a music video. Oh man, like the music video for Mother, it's insane. It's you know, one of the best music videos that I've seen, and one of my favorite all-time ballads, which is I Still Love You. I think that song holds a special place in my heart because that's the one that's where I found out about Wildstreet. And, you know, during that video, there is so much, you know, theatrical, you know, aspect. There is, that video has so much feeling. Can you talk about who your influences were and, you know, what made you the singer that you are today?
Well, okay, let me say this. My first 3 albums were, it was Thriller, right? Purple Rain and Appetite for Destruction. You know, those are the 3 albums I had first. The Appetite for Destruction was on cassette and the other 2 were LPs. You know what I mean? But like, when I was first starting to play guitar, I was like, you know, 8 years old, 9 years old, right? And like, I you know, my town got MTV for the first time, Right. And so like I got to see like music videos, and I saw like Aerosmith music videos, Guns N' Roses music videos, Motley Crue. And like that's I think when I think about it, like now it's like, well, yeah, that's probably what inspired the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like I'll be honest, of the three bands that well, I, I, I do listen to Guns N' Roses and I do listen to Aerosmith still. I don't really listen to Motley Crue very often, except for when I'm at a club. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I can't wait for you to hear "Won't Be Apart," which is coming out on Tuesday. Um, I think it's a really great ballad, and it was written really fast. And with my friend Todd from this band Goes to Sunset, that's on Golden Robot Records with us, and he and I have written a bunch of songs. But this year we finished two really good ballads that I'm pretty happy about.
I'm very excited about that ballad because I think you posted a clip of the recording process of that particular song, and it's coming out awesome. I really am excited. I'm a sucker for power ballads. I love power ballads. With guitar solos, it's like, when you guys came out with "I Still Love You," I cannot tell you how excited I was about that song because I don't think I have seen a ballad played with a lot of, I'm not sure if I'm using this word correctly, but I don't think I've seen a theatrical performance in a power ballad in a long time. So I will definitely be checking that out. And when does King of the World tour? When does the tour start for Kings of the World tour?
So Friday we play at Another Round Bar in Richmond, Virginia, and then Saturday at Ground Zero in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and then Saturday we're in Chesapeake, Virginia at Jerry's of Indian River. So it's starting. We're starting by doing 2 weekend trips in April to get our feet wet, to get stuff happening. And then we go and I believe on May 12th we start a proper tour, and this is our first tour of the Northeast. Which, like, this year we're kind of like it's James is our idea, our booking agent. He's really smart. He's like, you got to build around your region. You know what I mean? A little bit more. And so not only are we doing this, like, it's Providence and Boston and New Hampshire. So, to extend our reach and to go to new places. We're also doing a West Coast tour, which I'm really excited about. And we're going to Mexico, which I'm also really excited about. And there's more. We're probably going to Europe too. So
that's awesome. You guys are like going all over the world. Have you been to Mexico before? Because there's a lot of like the rock and metal fans in Mexico are awesome.
Fans in Mexico have waited too long. Actually, I feel bad. Like, they had to wait since 2000. We're supposed to go in April 2020. And that was already like 11 years after. Mexico City is one of our, if you look on like social analytics, then you see that Mexico City is one of our top cities. So like, it means a lot to me to go to Mexico to play. So
much definitely. For a lot of bands, it means a lot, just giving to the fans and just going out there and just sharing your art with your fans. And one of the things that I think is interesting, and I think it's really cool, that you do on tour, is that you try to incorporate meditation while being on tour. Because I always see, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I see Eric Jayk meditating on Planet Fitness.
Yeah. I have this thing, like, I've been to every Planet Fitness in the country. When that happens, then WildStreet's touring enough, I guess.
Hopefully when you come to Virginia, I'll catch you on one of the Planet Fitnesses just meditating. Why is meditating, I guess, an important part of your routine, or I guess a part in your routine?
Well, let me explain. practiced Ashtanga yoga for over 7 years, and so every day, me and I got Jen into it too. Me and Jen go all the way uptown to the Upper West Side to this place called Ashtanga Yoga Open Practice, and we practice for an hour and a half. And
Oh wow, yeah,
so it's just like I think as a performer, it's you got to be clear, and you also got to stay in shape. So the thing with Ashtanga yoga, it's breath, and every movement you is one breath, right? So it helps you as a singer. You know what I mean? So it
yeah.
made me a better singer, and I look pretty good for an old man. You know what I mean?
You are in like great shape. As I said, where you have a strong presence, as a singer, and I'm really hoping to catch you guys on tour,
Yeah,
especially now
please.
because um there is a new energy in Wild Street. You have a lot of new members in Wild Street, and the dudes seem pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. Well, Don has been in the band since Don's our bass player. He's been in the band since right before we almost went on tour in 2020. I remember we had his bass cabinet loaded in my van, and then I called off the tour at the last minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Don's awesome. He played every show with us last year and killed it. Um, my new guitar player, his name is Crispy Burrell. He's really talented. He's really great energy, and it's like inspiring for me. It makes me want to do more and more and more, and make stuff better and better and better. And Alex Cohn, who's an amazing drummer. You can go and watch his drum videos on Facebook, and I think he's writing a book about drums. Like he's an amazing drummer. It's just really like new energy makes us all excited because it's more fun. You know what I mean? It's more fun when everybody's happy. When everybody's miserable, it's not fun at all.
Much definitely, and there is a lot of like great chemistry in Wild Street. Anytime I see any music video of Wild Street, there is there you guys always tend to have good chemistry on stage. And Crispy, I've checked out his videos as well. He's a really awesome, talented guitar player, and he's young as well. And the cool thing about that is, I think ever since the Dirt on Netflix came out, and new music came out, there's this new, what's the right way to put it? There is a lot of new generation that is starting to embrace rock and roll. And you can go on TikToks and you can see guitar players playing all of this classic rock songs and all that, and that's awesome because it's keeping the genre alive in a sense. So I'm very happy to see where WILDSTREET is going.
Yeah, it's cool. Wild Street 3 was just the beginning. You know what I mean? It's like, it kind of like was like, we kind of like all this stuff that people didn't know about us, like all this music that we had written since 2010, and up to like when we started recording, which was like 2017, something, all this music, 2018, whatever it was. It's like, just kind of like it was there, right? And nobody heard it. It's just like One Tattoo. One Tattoo was released and nobody heard it. So Golden Robot Records re-released it. And the version of Born to Be, which I am partial to, last and February 15th, that's when they released it. It was really cool. It's so nice of them to do that. And but really, like the next two singles that not only do they feature my friend Todd, but they're also written. Well, one of them was sort of written but not finished during 2020, right when the pandemic happened, and then it was finished because I started working with Todd, and Todd and I finished it together. But the other one was is entirely brand new, entirely new music. It's like new song, and it was everything about it is awesome. So can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, considering how WILDSTREET writes and makes music, I think that we have something. We really have something great to look forward to. Eric, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, it's cool to actually talk to you, man. Like we've been like Instagramming like messages every once in a while, and I watch your videos and I see you shredding and doing these things, and it's nice to meet you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I definitely likewise. It's really awesome to meet you because I am a rock and roll enthusiast. Like I love, I ended up growing up with, I don't want to say growing up because I was not, I was not born in the 80s, but out of my family, I'm like the only one that gravitated towards rock and roll. And as I said, to look at bands or to discover bands like WildStreet and everything is awesome. And it's just great to have an opportunity to connect with you because you are you're an awesome dude. It's like you give back and you connect with everybody.
Yeah, you're awesome too. We're all awesome. Everyone's awesome.
We're all awesome in rock and roll.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to say, like when I had long hair, I was always trying to have that like that look with the spiked up hair and the Motley, like the Motley Crue kind of look. It's I just have to say that's that's like the Eric Jayk signature.
I can tell you this, it does not take very long. And it is not very planned. That's what I can say. Yeah, I this year I moved to a new apartment and I moved to a studio, right?
I was watching.
So like I have like I get home from my yoga and my gym, and I don't have a lot of time before I got to like teach lessons or start working on stuff for the band. And so like so most of the time, basically what happens is this. Okay, good to go.
Easy does it, pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, much definitely. All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining us, and it was awesome, talking to you. Everybody, don't forget to catch Wildstreet on tour, because if you don't catch Wildstreet on tour, I don't know what you're doing. You have to see this guy's live, and
you can find us on Instagram, Wildstreet Official, Facebook, Wildstreet NYC, on Twitter, we're Wildstreet, on YouTube, we're Wildstreet. Pretty much if you type in Wildstreet anywhere, you're going to see my ugly face. So might as well try.
There you guys, you heard it from Eric J himself of Wildstreet, where the vampires rise. Is that still the bio?
Yeah, it works for me.
Well, listen, it's pretty awesome. So it works for me too. Eric, well, I'll talk to you next time, man. Keep rocking.
Thank you so much.
And that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Remember to check out Wildstreet's new song, Won't Be Apart. And if you like the band, go and follow them on all their social media platforms. And most importantly, don't forget to spread the love, because love is what moves the world around. I will talk to you in the near future.